talked about before on my page that I'm over 100K in debt.
Wow.
And a lot of people were like, why don't you like file bankruptcy, yada, 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 this, that, and the other. One, over 60K of my debt, student loans.
Jesus Christ.
So that leaves me actually like with 40K of debt that I actually like irresponsibly took out.
Yeah.
24K of it is actually what I owe on my car, more like closer to 25-ish kind of. So that
Ooh.
leaves me with
So the breakdown of her debt, student loans. I wonder what degree she actually got. I don't think she's gonna say. Maybe she will. Then some irresponsible. What the hell? Then some irresponsible loans, like I'm assuming Afterpay or like some other Affirm type of thing. And then there's cars. Cars. I need to make a video about cars. But like car loans, I've been seeing so many videos about people taking out car loans that are like $1,000, $1,500. And the weird thing is these car loan videos that you would see them going around the office talking about like, oh, what's your car loan? Some of them are saying 15, 20, like 1,000. The way that they phrase it too, it makes it seem like it's so normal, but like it really isn't. And cars are one of those things where you don't want to be spending a whole bunch of money on these things. You're paying for something that is depreciating every single year, that earns you nothing and just causes you headaches and like tickets from the police because your blinker's out or you parked on the wrong side of the road. But back to what she was saying, she seems very, very annoyed, distraught, and it's understandable. I don't 100% get why. I have some rough ideas as to why people share their personal finances. Maybe it's because of some sense of security or like I'm not alone type of thing, but let's see what she's talking about.
So that leaves me with $15,000 of credit card
Yeah.
and personal loan debt. While that's obviously not like great, I'm just saying it's not like I'm 100K in credit card debt. Y'all be acting like I'm just outrageous.
No, 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 no. Like even though that amount is like small, I'm assuming because you are in that much debt, you're not necessarily paying like the full amount that is owed. You're making the minimum payments, which is not the greatest idea. One, because of the interest on these some of these cards. If you're using like things like Afterpay or Affirm or credit cards have an interest rate of like on average 30% on your debt. So like if you don't pay it or you're paying the minimum amount that they ask you to pay, the interest will just compound over time so that eventually you're paying double what you took out before. So it's not a small thing that you have like 10,000, 20,000. That's still a significant amount and it's all in the percentages. Every single thing is in the percentages. Depending on the amount that you owe, something as small as 7% could ruin your life. Could make it be the difference between you going to the grocery store and buying actual food and you eating ramen every night because you can't afford the payments or whatever it may be. So she makes it seem as if it's like a small thing to have like 10,000, but it really isn't. Like the biggest thing you could actually say and the biggest flex in my opinion is to be debt free, to owe nobody anything, to have enough money in your bank account to actually go on trips whenever you want. Whenever you buy that thing or whenever you want that thing that you desire off Amazon or off your favorite store, you buy it with your own money or you buy it with the money that earns you money. That is a bigger flex than actually saying that I owe a whole bunch of money. You own everything. I like to say the power that money gives you is freedom. And the freedom that you get with money, it gives you happiness. That's the biggest power of money. Money doesn't buy you everything, but it gives you a lot of things. It gets you a lot of things. It buys you freedom, which is the most important thing. And I think a lot of people miss that when they're caught up with a lot of this keeping up with the Joneses type of deal. But it's not worth it. And really, nobody cares. The funny thing is, not that anything is funny in this situation because like $100,000, that's the amount of money that a lot of people won't even see in their lifetime. That's a serious amount of debt. But the people who come on, which is very important for people who are considering to going into a whole bunch of debt to actually go to trips, to buy clothes that they don't need. This is a good warning for them as to what could happen to them. The loan companies, the guys that trusted you enough to actually give you a loan, they don't care if you're crying on social media. They want their money. Just like your landlord wants their money. Just like you want your money from your employer that you exchange your time and effort for. They don't care. Just like you saying that, yo, where's my money? Where's my paycheck? You're short on my paycheck. Where's my stuff? How are you gonna compensate me because you missed my payment? I want some form of compensation. Just like you don't play around with your money, they're not gonna play around with their money too. It goes both ways. When you took out these loans, you knew what you were doing, more or less, that it's a loan you have to pay back with interest. That's how they make their profits. So you need to be mindful, all right? When Dr. Loan Man comes a knocking, you need to give him his money, or he will find other ways or other methods to actually get his money from you. That it is what it is. But let's see what she's talking about.
Anyways, I was getting sued, and it wasn't for any of that debt because I pay my things. I did like this school program before going to college, and I owed them still like about $2,000, and I had moved to Texas for college, and I was also fighting a felony charge in Texas, and just started college, and I had lost my job because it was COVID 2020. I had called them and let them know this, but they didn't give a fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, they tend to do that. They don't necessarily care, as I was saying before. You owe them. You signed on the dotted line saying, hey, I'm going to borrow this amount of money, and I'm going to pay it back at this date, this time, at this interest rate. They don't care. Your landlord doesn't care. But I can sympathize with the fact that this is stressful. And this is a reminder to you, as well as it is to me, that I need to make the right decisions to not put myself in that amount of debt as to cripple my financial future and the things that I would want. I want to travel the world, and I don't want to do it on loans. I don't want to do it on other people's money. I want to be able to go wherever I want, regardless of the time and place. I want to do that, but in order to do that, I need to make some sacrifices. That be my 20s and going out every single day. So to wrap this up, I really hope that she actually gets out of the amount of debt that she is in. And I don't think anybody should be in this amount of debt in the first place. But people make decisions, and those decisions have consequences, good or bad. That's it.